What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with some exciting news. I am excited to talk about Mike Evans, who should be a New York Jets trade target at some point, whether it be even like right before the season or before the trade deadline. So according to multiple reports, Mike Evans put a deadline on contract talks with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of September 9th, which is this Saturday, right before the start of week 1 of the NFL season. Apparently, things have not been going well in the contract negotiation talks between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Mike Evans. And from the Tampa Bay Bucs perspective, this would make sense for it to be the last year that they have a player like Mike Evans on their team. He's 30 years old. He just turned 30 a few weeks ago, or maybe I think it was 11 days ago, actually, if you want to be technical. But they are very much so going through a rebuild. They have a stopgap quarterback in Baker Mayfield and are likely going to be picking very high in the draft and will draft a new quarterback. They already have Chris Godwin on the roster, who could be a number 1 receiver and, is significantly younger than what Mike Evans is. And by the time the Bucs are ready to compete, Mike Evans will probably be on the back stretch of his career. For the New York Jets, they could use a complimentary piece like Mike Evans. And Mike Evans would be a very, very high-end complimentary piece. Now, I get it. A lot of people are like, Davante Adams or bust. And Davante, of course, is the better wide receiver of the two. But I don't know how likely a Davante Adams trade is. A guy like Mike Evans, who is a perennial 1,000-yard receiver, 9 years in the league, 9 straight seasons over 1,000 yards. That's just insane consistency and insane production. You have to remain healthy to do that, which he has. You have to remain productive, which he has. And he's done it with so many different quarterbacks. Did it with Tom Brady, obviously, during a nice 3-year run. But before that, there were tons of guys. Jameis throwing him the football. He was doing it with quarterbacks who really were not the same level of talent as Aaron Rodgers. And at this point in his career, I don't think he would have to be a number 1 receiver, because obviously you have Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson would be the number 1 receiver on this team, but Mike Evans would be a high-end number 2 receiver in the league, and that just elevates the offense even more. In a year where you're going for it, that makes a ton of sense to me. Why wouldn't you just want to continue to elevate your offense and get the most out of this window of opportunity? Supposedly, he's seeking a similar contract to what Cooper Kupp got, like 3 years in the $80 million range, something like that. And, it's a short-term deal, and you could structure these things where, you can get out of it if need be. And I'm not even worried about if you are then extending Mike Evans or not. Really, it's about, this year. And, they need some help at the wide receiver position now with Corey Davis gone. I think it would be wise for the New York Jets to take a real hard look at the wide receiver market. And a player like Mike Evans would be a major, major, major upgrade. Like, yes, he's 30 years old. I get it. Some people are concerned with age, but he's, again, remained productive and healthy every single year. He played 15 games and had 1,100 yards last year. He's good. He's a really, really, really good player. Underrated, but significantly underrated wide receiver for the last decade. And I think would be a home run ad. And again, like, you're trying to win a championship. You're trying to go for it. And I'm happy that guys like Jason Brownlee, Xavier Gibson, and Irv Charles made the roster. That's awesome. Cool story. I'm rooting for them. But I don't know. That wide receiver top 5 would look a hell of a lot better if it's Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Mecole Hardman. That would be a bordering very, very good unit into what is now, it's a slightly below average unit. Garrett Wilson's great, but beyond that, Allen Lazard is a pretty good 3, okay 2. Then there's Randall Cobb is pretty much your 3rd receiver, which I like Randall as like the 5th wide receiver, and Mecole Hardman's their gadget guy and pretty much playing as the 4th wide receiver. So I would be all in on trying to land someone who is as talented as Mike Evans. But I want to hear from you. Would you pull the trigger on this? Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me know your thoughts. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.